Sony quietly announced the Xperia Z4v only a few days ago, but we managed to get some quick hands-on time with the upcoming smartphone. Design. Some people were quick to point out the Xperia Z4v's dated design, seeing that it's both thicker and heavier than the Z3 before it. We, on the other hand, don't mind the design at all because it continues to sport one of the most underappreciated designs out there. For one, it's one of the few high-end smartphones to combine a premium finish with a waterproof construction. Sure, the glass surfaces makes the phone feel a little fragile and a fingerprint magnet, but the overall design language follows in tradition to past Xperias, so that means uniformly flush front and back surfaces. There's no hump around the camera, nor is there any sort of hump on its body. Improving its waterproof aspect, there's now no more concern about covering the micro USB port, seeing that it's been treated for water resistance, though the SIM and micro SD slots still need to be firmly fastened to ensure its waterproof protection. Even with the added thickness, Sony is able to stuff a larger capacity battery with built-in wireless charging in tow as well. Display. Finally, Sony does justice by gracing the Z4v with a 5.2-inch 1440 x 2560 Quad HD Triluminos display, making it the sharpest display Sony has ever put in a phone. Needless to say, the jump to Quad HD resolution gives the screen incredible sharpness and detail, while Sony's X-Reality engine complements things by adding color fidelity to the screen. It looks good and now quells some of the concerns people were having with the Z3 Plus and Z4, but there's just one thing that stood out in our hands-on time. It's the display's brightness output, which seems to be subdued even at the highest setting, which can make it tough to view outdoors with the sun present. Of course, being a pre-production model and all, there's always opportunities to improve before it's officially launched. Interface. In standard fashion, this pre-production model of the Xperia Z4v is running the predictable Xperia UI on top of Android 5.0 Lollipop. Who knows if there are any enhancements in this experience that we haven't seen previously, but nonetheless, it's complemented by the usual staple of slick-looking animations. Functionally, it should be familiar as well, boasting the usual essentials, but who knows if it's finally upped the ante with its multitasking experience to run full apps side by side to one another. Processor and memory. Keeping up with the times, the Xperia Z4v is powered by an octa-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 810 chipset with a generous 3 GB of RAM in tow. The hardware, much like the other phones we've seen running the same processor, looks well equipped in handling the most demanding of things. And in our quick run through the phone, the snappy response is evident right from the onset, as apps open instantly and scrolling through the interface is buttery smooth. Endowed with 32 GB of internal storage, there's a micro SD card slot on hand to give folks some much needed elbow room for storing additional content. That's fantastic, and all considering it's boasting a waterproof, premium construction unlike the Galaxy S6. Camera. Thus far, Sony's cameras haven't lived up to expectations. With the Z4v, it's packing along a monster-sized 20.7 megapixel XMR sensor, which can achieve a very high ISO, making it handy for those low-light situations. On the video side, you have the usual options of shooting in either 4K or 1080p resolutions, so there's plenty of flexibility here. While the numbers point to a beastly camera gear in tow with the Z4v, it's ultimately going to be its real-world quality that will propel Sony's reputation out of the pitfall it's been stuck in. We're hopeful about it, really. Expectations. Verizon customers surely have something sweet on the horizon with the Sony Xperia Z4v, more so when Sony's presence in the United States is still a work in progress. Whereas the Xperia Z4 and Z3 Plus were regarded as subtle upgrades to the Z3 previously, the Z4v undoubtedly cements its reputation of being a juggernaut thanks to the addition of a Quad HD display, up-to-date Snapdragon 810 processor, and a beefier-sized battery. All of this, in a still premium feeling, waterproof phone. Not many phones can say they carry all of those qualities. Those eagerly waiting for this one will need to keep in mind pricing, which has yet to be announced. However, it'd be a good idea for them to price it similar to the LG G4 and Samsung Galaxy S6. Who's looking to snag this one?